And you can see it was walled, it was sealed. That was done by the early Muslim ruler, the Umayyad period is what archaeologists say. Then it was reopened by the Christians and then resealed again by the Mamluks. You can see the Crusader arches right here, right? So that was an
Is that what you were saying we copied from that building over there?
So,
So when this was open, it was open all the way up?
yeah, as a Roman gate entry, it was open all the way and all the way through.
And, yeah.
It was a double gate. You see, it was huge entryway.
And was there any kind of a door, so to speak?
You know, yesterday.
It could be closed other than permanent closure like it is now.
No, I don't know. But the gate that we saw yesterday, the entryway to the temple, the Church of the Nativity, I showed you there were 3. So the highest one was like this. We only saw a slight part of it because it's been blocked and rebuilt and blocked and rebuilt, and then they had this one and then they had a third one. So it's very similar.
So what you're saying is this one was open clear up to this arch?
Yeah, it was a gateway. It was much more of a gateway than a door.
And because of what you said before, most of the time gateways and entryways and streets were left where they were, even if they had torn these walls down, it's likely that this still would have been the
entryway, yeah, because that generally repeats itself. Unless we know it's brand new, like the new gate in Israel. That was made, the new gate in Jerusalem, that was made for modern Christian pilgrims. In the 19th century, they opened up the gate during the Ottoman period so that Christians could gain access to the Christian quarter without having to go to the Muslim quarter. But that was done in a different period. And all the gates have more than one name because of their location, not so much because of the gate itself, because the walls of Jerusalem are only 500 years old. But the names of the gates date back much further.
So was it solid all the way through?
This part was solid. But this on top?
This opening, was it solid all the way through?
Oh, I don't know. Heidi, is that
Heidi, you're saying that, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're saying that this is Hadrian, not Herodian.
Pardon?
You're saying this is Hadrian, not Herodian.
I don't know, but I don't know.
It could be one or the other?
It's Roman, it's stone, but I don't think it's the gates of Herod. I don't think when you look at tomorrow at the model, and the model is done exactly like the descriptions, you'll see that the gate looks different than this gate.
So this may not be the gate?
It's the location.
The location.
But the walls and the gates have all changed
Physically,
many
it's a
times
different
over.
wall.
Physically, yeah. You know, the Lion's Gate, it's called the Lion's Gate, but it's also called the Shepherd's Gate, and it's also, or the Sheep's Gate, and it's also called St. Stephen's Gate. But none of those 3 names have anything to do with it, in a way. Those are all names that they received by the population that was living there for whatever reason. So the names go back and change, and the location, but the actual structure, that has changed many times over. Jerusalem, what we walk through everywhere in Jerusalem today is primarily an Ottoman city. That's only 500 years old. Tomorrow we're going to the city of David, so you'll see things that are 3,000 years old, but the city that everyone lives in is Ottoman. In the Jewish quarter, you'll see the Roman city. Underground, it's much deeper. The Herodian road that we were on yesterday, that's Herodian. That's much deeper level. Because remember, Hadrian also completely destroyed the city a second time. There's a second revolt. The big revolt is famous, but the second revolt was more traumatic in many ways. The Bar Kokhba revolt. Because the Jews of Judea managed to recapture the temple for 2 years. And Hadrian then, in his anger at this hard-necked people, he sent legions to fight the rebels of Bar Kokhba. And Bar Kokhba, this is in the 2nd century after Christ, and destroyed them completely. And then he changed the name of Jerusalem to Aelia Capitolina. Until then it was Jerusalem. And then it was Aelia until the Muslims arrived. It was called Aelia. That was his name for himself. That was his family name. Capital of Aelia. Hadrian Aelia. And Judea he changed to Palestina. So in fact when you call, I think I heard on your recording this morning, they were referring to the land of Israel, the kingdom of Judah, at the time of Jesus as Palestina. It wasn't called Palestina. Palestina came with Hadrian as a name. It was a regional name for the entire area. Syria Palestina was a regional name, but that comes from the Romans. Hadrian used it because it's the Jews' first enemy, the Philistines,
Oh.
Palestina. And so then it became the name of this region, but that's a Roman word, just so you know. It was Judea, and it was intentional so that the Jews would forget it, to blot out the memory of Jerusalem and Judea. And it's an interesting, you can look at the history there because it's interesting because the Jews were just a very small population. What was it about the Jews that the Romans, they just couldn't take it? And the Bar Kokhba revolt wasn't written about a lot because first of all, from the Jewish perspective, the Jews believed Bar Kokhba might be Messiah. Thank you. You'll start walking. And Bar Kokhba was a messianic figure, and even some rabbis thought that he was Messiah because he was coming to rebuild Jerusalem, to recapture Jerusalem from the Romans. And then, of course, he wasn't. And the Romans lost 2 legions fighting this little Jewish population. So that's a huge embarrassment. So you don't see it in historians' accounts, this big revolt, the Bar Kokhba revolt, but it's a major revolt. And that's actually when the true exile began, was after the second revolt. The temple was destroyed, but then the Jews really had no more access. Heidi forbade the Jews from entering.
I'll respond to that because I can't have. I don't have any access to my writings.
You don't? Do they block it? Do they
I
block?
can't.
Because I always think it's funny they don't let you use a tablet, they don't let you bring a Bible, but of course all of it can be right here.
But I have no coverage. No, there's no signal.
You want to look it up on
Oh, it won't
That's
come
what
up?
we were waiting for. I was waiting for her.
Your Bible?
They've gone to the public relations school because he was nice about telling us. No, that's a lot. That's a really good one. Israel doesn't care. That's their problem. They have to get us out.
I thought you said all the security abuse.
No, only the armed security. The guy who told you not to touch was Walks. He wasn't Israeli. Israeli doesn't care.
I guess I didn't understand.
And here we have a religious boys' school. They're on lunch break, I guess. That's a Muslim religious boys' school. And we're going to go out the gate here.
So Heidi, how do you have your arms shut?
Because it's inconsistent. I mean, if someone saw me, you should come and tell me to cover your arms.
They
You
need
tell
to
me
wrap
cover
up.
your collarbone. They do that sometimes, but I think the public relations.
And you can do that with your scarf.
Yeah, that's why I have these gloves. I was going to wear a coat.
Yeah, I agree.
The 2 Israeli police officers, army police, were killed right here at the next exit. Early on a Friday morning, everything was very peaceful here. This was July 14th, and they were shot. So they had smuggled weapons onto the Temple Mount and attacked the 2 Israelis. They were Druze soldiers from my area. I went to their funeral. Young men with a new baby. One was engaged to get married. Finished.
They chose Friday of all days.
How long ago was that?
That was on July 14th.
This past year?
Yep.